Hi everyone, I'm Linda Loveland with the North Carolina Farm Bureau. We are in beautiful Yadkin County today for our Ask a Farmer segment. I have Danielle Venable with me. And the topic today is we're going to talk about the importance of soil sampling. But before we get into that, tell me a little bit, Danielle, about your farm, what all you have here. We were just talking a little bit earlier about all that you farm.
So we're a fourth generation farm, and my brother and myself and my husband will be the fifth generation. So we do all row crops. We have no animals or livestock. We have corn, wheat, soybeans, and barley. And we focus mainly on corn and soybeans here and trying to push high yields and raise our APH for our farms. So we're trying to raise our yield on it. And then we also do a lot of testing as far as doing trial work with different fertilizer, different company and seed. That way we can see what works for us in our area. And then with that, it kind of led into doing a bunch of soil sampling. And now we do it for other farmers in the area too.
And how many acres do you farm too? It's pretty significant.
We farm about 5,500 when you count all the double crop. So
wow.
A lot there to do.
Substantial. So harvest time is a busy time, as you can imagine, planting too,
Yes.
I'm sure. Okay, so let's talk about soil sampling and how important it is, because people may not realize it. I know people can do that for their own yards, but it's extremely important when it comes to agriculture.
Yeah, so it prevents you from over-fertilizing. You might not need it everywhere in the field. So we have farms that are on a rotation every other year. They're getting soil samples pulled on them. And we've been able to build our organic matter and really our entire soil profile being able to do this, because we're knowing exactly what needs to be applied to the soil, and we're not putting too much lime, and we're not wasting any money essentially, because if it doesn't need it, there's no need in applying it.
Well, especially right now with the high cost of inputs or the products that are needed on a farm, like fertilizer, those sort of things are so expensive right now, so you certainly don't want to apply more if you don't need it.
Right.
And what are some of the basic nutrients, of course, that the soil
So
needs?
your basic nutrients is going to be your NP and K.
No, that's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, for those who don't know. I didn't know what NPK was either.
Yeah. It's second nature for me to remember that.
Sounds like a boy band, but it's actually nutrients for the soil.
So, I mean, those are your micro or macronutrients, and those are your main focuses for most of the farmers to remember. They want to get those levels built up, and then once you get those where they need to be in your pH, then you're going to start focusing on all of your micronutrients that are there.
And that's got to make all the difference when it comes to the crop too, as far as how well it's growing and producing.
It does. And it lets you know, like, at the end of each season, your crop's going to take stuff out of the soil. So you don't want to deplete your soil profile. You want to be adding to it. So you want to be soil sampling and applying fertilizer to the field and not just keep taking from it. You want to be giving back to it so you can keep the soil ready for many generations.
So it's just like your own body. You've got to have certain nutrients in there. You can't be depleted on anything to make yourself healthy, right? Same thing for the crops.
It is. It is.
Now we were talking, it's kind of a separate thing for this, but I thought it was interesting. So you live next to a river too. So
we do.
And you can get hurricanes to this area. So you were talking about how you change up your planting too to try to avoid both spring floods and potential hurricane flooding from that too. Talk a little bit about that.
We have uplands and river bottoms. So in the upland, it's going to be our first planting corn and soybeans. We really don't put soybeans in the river bottoms because of the risk of flooding. We just know which farms tend to flood and which ones don't. And that's how we have to play the game there. And then for corn, you're going to wait about a month to even plant in the river bottoms, because you want to miss that springtime flood that we occasionally get. We got one this year. And after that, we kind of knew that was our safe time to start planting. So then once you start planting, you got to change your maturity of the corn that you're using to where you can harvest it before a hurricane flood, because you want the crop to be able to come out before a hurricane and not lose it. It's always playing with nature.
It's like a chess game.
It is.
For sure.
It is.
Wow. Well, Danielle, thanks so much for your time, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's another segment on our Ask a Farmer. So thanks for joining us, and check in next time.